I am thankful to the organizers of this convention of the All India Management Association for inviting me to give an address on managerial accountability. I am glad this convention have taken up for discussions a very important aspect of management. Before we proceed on the subject, we have to take into consideration all the aspects of the word accountability. It has three aspects in any walk of life. They are accountability to oneself, accountability to the society, and to the organization in which one is functioning. Accountability to oneself, at any rate, is of supreme importance. The first and most important requirement of any individual, particularly of the manager of today, is development of excellence and efficiency in his job. Indeed, it has been given the highest place in the Indian tradition, as excellence in action is equated with the very pursuit of truth. Many educational institutes today teach their students how to compete successfully. Competition is with other, but excellence is nothing but competition with oneself. I would call it a growth experience of one's own personality. Para promotion of human welfare and happiness is the essential quality of human activity. It may be related to an individual, group, or society. To identify the appropriate goal for an individual, group, or society. To identify the appropriate goal for an individual, group, or nation. Unless the human values are kept in mind, we are likely to go wrong. Our national goal will have to be achieving total human development. You who are assembled here have had higher education and training and have a better perspective of the challenges the society is facing. Therefore, you have a social contract, you have an additional responsibility to serve and enrich the society. An essential part of that contract is the duty to seek excellence in yourselves, to grow in knowledge and experience and utilize this capacity for the promotion of human welfare and happiness. Accountability to oneself gets transformed into accountability to society. Everyone is called upon to use his knowledge and professional skill in a way beneficial to society at large. This is essence of the Indian tradition. No individual, however eminent and talented, can function without an organization through which he has to utilize his capabilities. Some situations may arise in the course of your duties when your accountability to society and to the organization to which you belong come into conflict. In such circumstances, it must be remembered that there are certain eternal values which do not change with time. One of the principles of these eternal values is that whenever there is a conflict between individual or group interest prevails, and whenever there is a conflict between group interest and the interest of society, the latter prevails. Para. The next point I would like to make is that system of management will have to be evolved, taken into account the needs of the society. Indian managers should operate with due regard to the Indian economic situation instead of assuming that what is good for other countries is good for India too. Management science in the West has been developed in relation to organized business in industry. Its application, therefore, to rural problems in the country where 3 out of every 4 of the population live in the villages is extremely limited. The problems which are of direct relevance to our rural folk are completely different from those faced by business corporations turning out products with the help of the latest technology based on computer information and analysis. I would like to dwell upon new areas where professional management will have to play a more meaningful role. Para the science size of our population, its growth, the wide disparities in income among the peoples, etc., call for immediate measures to speed up development. There have to be swift changes to enable a rise in income and better employment opportunities to those who are below the poverty line. Simultaneously, national effort has also to be generated to meet the basic minimum needs such as drinking water, elementary education, and rural housing facilities. In this connection, I want to make it clear that I am not against using the latest technology. Perhaps with these modern tools, we may be able to tackle our age old problems more speedily and effectively. How to use the high technology available for the eradication of poverty is one of the challenges facing the modern managers. The management movement in our country can ill afford to turn away from those challenges.